What's up, y'all? This is Mizzle Trap coming at you. This is the third game of the set between Light and Jaedong, and this is definitely going to be an exciting game. I'm expecting. Both of these players have been playing extremely well lately, and someone did point out that I might have been too harsh on Light for his Valkyries. The problem was with that is that he there was no way he could have gotten enough in time. Basically, if you can get several Valkyries out, then yes, it's very good against Mutalisks. But there's just really no way. He had to have known that Jaedong was going quick Mutas because he does every time. And so, yeah, anyways, that was what happened in Game 1, and Jaedong stomped all over him because he kind of went expand and tech at the same time and didn't have any units out when the Mutalisks arrived. Game 2, though, went the other way around, where Light actually did very well and outplayed Jaedong a little bit. So basically, Jaedong went in with his Mutalisks, and Light had just barely enough units to hold them off, but he built up his units more and more, and Jaedong did not build up his units or get much tech, and by the time that Light was able to move out, Jaedong didn't have anything for him. So this is the third match, and this is going to be, like I said, definitely very interesting to see, and I'm very excited about this match. This map is Persona, by the way, which I have to say actually is probably going to favor Jaedong a little bit. We can see here that you have that little choke there that's really easy to defend, and so we see Light, in fact, walling off that choke, which makes very good sense against a Zerg player. But the thing is that this is the map with the dark swarms. You see that swarm there? Those are permanent dark swarms. They're part of the map. And so, basically, it's gonna, if it gets to late game, it's GG in favor of Jaedong, because he's gonna have all these swarms. I mean, that's what Zergs try to do against Terran late game anyways, is get swarm out, and I mean, yeah, if there's swarm already around, it's gonna give him a huge advantage, because he'll constantly be able to fall back to those permanent swarms and use those to his advantage. He'll be able to hide defilers in there, what have you. Jaedong will have to get siege tanks. He won't be able to just function with medic marines. Well, maybe if he just gets science vessels and uses those effectively. But basically, Jaedong will have it easy. He'll be able to hide in those swarms a lot, and obviously, Zerg's using a lot more melee units than Terran players, since the only melee unit Terran players have is the Firebat, and those not usually especially effective against lurkers. More so, I mean, they can be, but yeah, it's difficult to get enough Firebats at the lurkers without them dying. That approach is brutal. So we see Light, as I said, closing off his door, sticking a marine behind it, so that basically that little choke there with the marine behind the blockade will be enough to hold off several quick Zerglings, or it'll be able to hold off a scout, obviously, if he tries to run a drone in the scout, although, as we can see, that won't be much of an issue. Light has actually made a factory, and he's floating that factory across that ridge, and Jaedong is going to see that factory with his overlord there, so it looks like Light is going to try and sneak a vulture in and try and pick off some drones or something, and Jaedong has spotted that, so he's going to be able to, I don't know why he's not attacking it. Well, I guess it wouldn't do too much good to attack the factory with his Zerglings, but he could at least camp outside. And Light going for 2 starports now. We saw him do this in a game the other day, actually, against GG Play, where he got double starports and went for mass raids and kind of did a counter and actually harassed the Zerg player with his raids instead of the opposite, where usually the Zerg player harasses with Mutalisks. So he's pumping out raids now. That vulture was denied, by the way. So very smart by Jaedong. He got a little bit lucky spotting that factory floating over there, but very well done on his part. A, putting down that sunken, and B, blocking that ramp off with those Zerglings, making a wall inside there, and an impenetrable wall at this point too, because there's no way Jaedong can kill those Lings if they're inside that swarm. He doesn't have quite enough. He's able to sneak by. Jaedong is able to sneak that one of those Vultures by, but at this point, brilliantly by Jaedong, he does have Hydralisks out, which is exactly, I mean, that's kind of what you need against Vultures is Hydralisks or Sunkens or something like that, and he does have those Hydralisks out in time. So you can see, again, the importance of scouting in these pro games. Jaedong spotting that Vulture maneuver and able to counter it effectively. And but now, here we're going to see the real guts of the game, because this Wraith harass is probably going to determine what happens for this game. If Light can actually do an effective harass like he did on GG Play, then he might be able to take this game. The thing is he doesn't have a permanent blockade like those mineral lines like he did on Monty Hall against GG Play, so we'll have to see if he can actually... He's trying to pick off these Overlords there. He does a very good job picking off that Overlord. Light microing extremely well, kind of moving his Wraiths around, taking shots, and falling back away from those Hydralisks. It looks like the Hydras do not have range upgrades, so he will be able to do that a little bit more until that point. But basically the Wraiths are gonna have trouble if they get that range upgrade. And Light only mining from one base now. You see he's getting another command center, so he's gonna try and float that over. And once he does try and take that extra base though, then he'll definitely be vulnerable to attack. And that's kind of what we saw GG Play almost succeeding in doing, is when he was finally able to get drop tech so he could get out and attack. Then it served in his favor. He was actually able to accomplish something. And Light landing his factory in Jaedong's base. Okay. In any case, so now he's got that control tower attached, so he's probably going to be researching cloaking technology. It looks like Jaedong was trying to, Light was trying to block reinforcements from coming out of that base or something like that. Keep Jaedong from moving out quickly. He does have that bunker set up. He's got an academy researching something. That's interesting. Maybe he might be switching back to Medic Marines. Maybe he's thinking that this Wraith Rush has failed, and he's going to try to switch to Medic Marines. That's really curious. I'm not sure what he might be researching there. Maybe Stimpaks, like I said, in order to try and get Medic Marines. It's really hard to tell. So really peculiar going on here. Yeah, so he's building another barracks, so we're probably going to see him switching to some more Medic Marines, at least to support those Wraiths. He does seem to be very much so going towards... I mean, he's keeping up his Wraith build, but, he's keeping up his Wraith build, so he's not abandoning that in favor of Medic Marines, but, he realizes that he's going to need more than Wraiths in this instance, because, while he does have the maneuverability there, he doesn't have quite the maneuverability that he did on that Monty Hall game where he tried this before.